and 3 points ahead of Liverpool, who are 9th right now and have been dominating the headlines because Mo Salah's future is very much in doubt at Liverpool following a bombshell interview after Liverpool's 3-3 draw with Leeds, in which he said he felt like the club had thrown him under a bus. Obviously, you can see all the headlines here. Lots to discuss. He suggested that Saturday's game against Brighton could be his last for the club. Beth Lindop, you were at Elland Road for all of this. Talk to us a little bit more about what we're hearing here from Mo Salah and how this all went down afterwards.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, when I was sort of selecting which fixtures I was going to go to a couple of months ago, I didn't think that Leeds United would provide probably the biggest talking point of the season. But yeah, I've got to say it's probably one of the most extraordinary turns of events that I've in my whole career that I've witnessed, really, because I was in the manager's press conference at the time. I wasn't actually in the mix zone, but the sort of the ripples of shock that seemed to go around the media room when it became clear that the Mo Salah had, because he doesn't speak to the media very often, so the fact that he'd even stopped to speak to the written press was an event within itself. But then when you listen to what he actually had to say, it was totally extraordinary. Obviously something that he'd planned to do, you know, it wasn't a spur of the moment type thing. It's obvious that he had a point that he wanted to make. He knew on Friday that he wasn't starting the game, and it was clear that he had a message, and that message was that he feels like he's being unfairly treated at Liverpool. He feels like he's being scapegoated. And it's ultimately, whatever side of the fence you sit on with this one, it's just not what Liverpool need at the moment, because they've got enough difficult things going on the pitch that, you know, for all of the dirty laundry to now be aired in public and another storyline, another headline to have been created is absolutely not what the club need at this moment in time. And I think in time, Mohamed Salah will probably come to regret this outburst, because it's going to dominate the headlines, I think, for the foreseeable future at Liverpool.
On top of that, he said that his relationship with Arne Slot has broken down.
Well, it has now. This is marvellously arrogant and marvellously elite. If you can put those two words together, I don't know if you can. Mo Salah's only been out of the team for 3 games, not 3 months. 3 games. Mo Salah was out of the team for 1 game under Jurgen Klopp. I think it was West Ham away, couple of years ago, and he acted like a big baby on that occasion when Jurgen Klopp dropped him to the bench. He spoke to the media then after the game, not as vociferously as this, but he spoke to the media that day as well. He showed his true colours. Liverpool have backed the truck up for Mo Salah and emptied millions into his bank account. For him to say that he's not getting supported at this football club when they gave him this bumper new deal. And for him to say yesterday, I believe one of the quotes was, "I've earned my place in the team." We put up a graphic yesterday in the show. And do you know what that graphic was? It was all Mo Salah's achievements at Liverpool, all his goals, all his appearances. And do you know what that's worth at this moment in time? Nothing. Because that's history. What Arne Slot and Liverpool are looking for is future, is performances. And he's not giving that. And everybody, and almost everybody, Liverpool fans that go to the games, us watching here, Stevie who played for them, I've been watching Liverpool from the start of the season and saying, Mo Salah will need to be dropped. Now, could it be anybody else? Yeah, I mean, you could have dropped Gravenberg. McAllister got dropped yesterday, who hasn't played well. You could drop Konate. Heaven and hell, you could drop Virgil van Dijk. That's how bad he's been. Kerkez has been dropped. They've all been dropped. And they've all been dropped at certain times, apart from 1 or 2, because they haven't been playing well. And the entitlement of Mo Salah to come out and basically just throw everybody under the bus because little Mo's not getting his game time is a shocker. Everybody at this club, and it doesn't matter to me if Liverpool finish bottom of the league or top of the league. I've got no affiliation here. But everybody at this club, at this moment in time, and Frank will tell you, when you're in these situations, you need everybody pulling in the same direction. You need the sleeves getting rolled up, and you need grit and determination. What you don't need is an underperforming superstar blaming everybody else. We've seen it from the captain, we're now seeing it from the other superstar. In some sense, This could be a blessing for Liverpool because I'm telling you now, the best thing that can happen for Liverpool is if Saudi Arabia smell an opportunity, they come along, they offer Liverpool a few million quid for an early release from a contract, and they take him to Saudi Arabia, and Liverpool can move on. They don't have to pay his wages, and they don't get a player who's not playing well and crying about it. I think that would be the perfect scenario for Liverpool now, because do I think Mo Salah is going to come back and be the Mo Salah of the last few years? No, I don't. And now we've seen the true colours as well.
What are the odds of that happening in January, Beth? There must be talk about it now.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty unequivocal last night. He didn't say it explicitly, but everything that he said suggested that he doesn't see a future at Liverpool with Arne Slot still a manager. And like I say, he didn't spell that out explicitly, but it very much felt like it was a little bit of an ultimatum, really, to the Liverpool hierarchy to say it's either him or me. Now, we know, obviously, Liverpool have been struggling. Arne Slot is under pressure anyway. But I think, in a way, if Mo Salah had hoped that these comments would pressure the board to make a move in terms of changing the manager, I think it's probably had the opposite effect, because I think the Liverpool hierarchy now will be quite keen to show that they're not beholden to player power and they don't want to bow down to a player. So I think his future and Arne Slot's future will be treated as two completely separate matters. Arne Slot will be judged on results on the pitch. I think the Saudi Arabia links obviously will resurface again. We already have in the past 24 hours. I think the interesting thing for me would be, I think if Mo Salah wants to prove a point that he's been sort of prematurely written off at Liverpool, then going to Saudi Arabia isn't going to prove that point, and I think he will know that. I think he feels that he can still contribute at the highest level, but the issue is, because of the wages that he's on, because of the age that he is, there's probably very few clubs in European football that can afford to take that kind of burden on in terms of the financial side of things. So Saudi Arabia may well be his only option. So it depends how desperate he is to get out of Liverpool at the moment. He said he still loves the club, and listen, he will, whether he leaves in January, whether he leaves at the end of his contract in 2027, he will always be remembered as an absolute great of the club. But it's just really sad, I think, for this state of affairs to unfold after, less than 8 months ago, Liverpool were celebrating winning the Premier League title.
Yeah, that's crazy. For me, do you know what I think? He went public because he knows that there is one game left before he goes to the African Nation Championship. And I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia already knocked at the door before he was on the bench. And because he felt it, because he's not good enough right now, but like the others. And as you mentioned, Virgil van Dijk, Abu Konate, Wirtz, who just signed, McAllister. Everybody was thrown under the bus by us first, by maybe the board, but everybody was only the shadow of themselves. So you get the credit. Yeah, you get 2 games credit, and that's it. It's a high level. We won't give you credit for years, and you earn nothing. That's for sure. You earn nothing. That's the football world, and it's kind of a jungle. But I really think that it's already done for Saudi Arabia. I think he's already there talking to them, and it's why he went public. Because I don't know why he would do that if he knows he goes to the African Championship in 1 game from now and not going to see his teammate for a month. Just don't say anything. Go there, come back, and see what's going on.
Did Mo Salah really think? Does he really think he's been scapegoated for all Liverpool's ills at the start of this season? I mean, come on. He must look himself in the mirror when he gets home and know he's not playing well. He knows the standards that he's set. He knows his performance. Nobody knows that better than a player themselves.
Sure.
You know as a player, when you step off the field, week in, week out, where your levels are at. And he knows where his levels are at. Now, he might think, well, why me? Well, because Cody Gakpo on the other side, he's more of a threat. He's working hard defensively. And we actually talked about this with Beth a few weeks ago. When Mo Salah's not giving you what he was giving you going forward, he's not giving you a lot defensively as well. And that right-hand side has been a problem. Alexander-Arnold's gone. Frimpong's been injured. Conor Bradley's been in and out. Dominic Szoboszlai has played right back. So the manager is looking to shore up, not just to be more creative on that right side, but he's looking to shore that right side up defensively, which you can accept that if Mo Salah's getting 35 goals a year. You say, well, okay, he's not helping out Trent as he wasn't, or he's not helping out this player or that player. But, you know, he's playing these killer passes and he's scoring these game-winning goals. When he's doing none of that and he's not doing much defensive work either, what does he expect? And I think, you know, every Liverpool fan can look at the way they've played and can see where the problems are. The problems are not just Mo Salah's not playing well. Alexander Isak's been dropped. Frank mentioned it. Florian Wirtz has been out the team. He's a superstar, Florian Wirtz. German international. He's been out the team. Isak was out yesterday again. Ekitike, who came in and had been superb at the start of the season, I think strangely got dropped. He was dropped at Chelsea and for a few more games for an unfit Alexander Isak. And I talked about it. McAllister was out yesterday, who hasn't had a great season. He's had some injuries. And the reason they're not dropping anybody else at the back is because they don't have anybody else at the back. They didn't get Mark Gay before the transfer window shut. So you can only drop so many players. It's the entitlement of the statement that Mo Salah made yesterday was just saying to me, it almost smelled to me that he was saying, Mo Salah, I'm undroppable. I'm undroppable because of what I have done in the past. That is, in a roundabout way, what he said in his statement to some of the media.
But if there is somebody who is against him at the board, the guy is against everybody. Because really, everybody has been criticized, everybody has been on the bench. So it's not fair to the board. It's not fair to the board, it's not fair to Slot, it's not fair to his teammates. It's why I don't understand why he does that just before going But
he's done Liverpool a huge favour here, I think, because don't forget, when Van Dijk and him signed their new contracts last year, particularly Mo Salah, it was a tricky situation for Liverpool because you don't want to completely obliterate the pay structure, but you couldn't be seen to be allowing a player with the numbers of Mo Salah and the performance level and winning the Premier League, you couldn't be seen to be doing nothing. And so they were in a very tricky situation. They had to pay all this money to get him to stay, which they did. But now the performances have dropped quite considerably. And now that Mo Salah has spoken out, it's a win-win for Liverpool if they can get him out now. Because they get a player out who, by the looks of it, is past his best, who's not playing well, who's unhappy, and they are paying him a king's ransom as a salary.
But that was
and now they won't look bad if they say Saudi Arabia in January. And I think Liverpool would be like, you know what? This has worked out pretty well for us.
That was a big question mark, and we've been asked many times, would you sign last season? Would you sign Mo Salah again? And I were the first to say, yeah, but you don't know when his talent's not going to be showing anymore, when his fitness will drop, and it's what happened now, and so nobody's happy.
But Liverpool were in a situation as a club, weren't they, that if they hadn't been seen to be aggressive in trying to keep Mo Salah, the fans would have turned, I would imagine, on the board for saying, how can you let this happen?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And now, after this, I think this has helped the situation fall on their lap for a big January decision.
Beth, have you got something to add on Salah?
Yeah, just that I will say, you know, in less than 12 hours' time, I'm going to be on a flight to Milan. Obviously, Liverpool playing into Milan on Tuesday night, so I think we'll get some real answers, I think, over the next sort of 48 hours or so about where this whole saga goes next. Because if Arne Slot includes him in the squad, maybe you could take that as maybe there's been a resolution behind the scenes. Arne Slot will obviously be asked about it a lot at his press conference. That will be the main topic of conversation tomorrow night. So I think we will have a bit more of an indication of which way the wind is blowing on this within the next 24 to 48 hours. So I think it's going to be a few more twists and turns over the next week for Liverpool.